We have exclusive video of a whale spotted in Barnstable Harbor over the weekend. The Barnstable Police Department is making sure local liquor stores aren't selling to underage patrons. And the town of Barnstable hopes a new culvert in Snows Creek will increase tidal flow in the area. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, September 1st, 2015. I'm Sarah Mannel. An unusual sighting in Barnstable Harbor this weekend. Town employees Brian Taylor and Tom Lincoln spotted a humpback whale while working in Barnstable Harbor on Sunday afternoon. Taylor was able to capture a video of the baby humpback whale breaching. As you can see here, the whale put on quite a show. While not unusual to see a humpback whale off the coast of Cape Cod, it is unusual to see one so close to the harbor and the shore. And of course, thank you to our Marine and Environmental Affairs Division for sending us the video. Well, there's never a dull day for the Barnstable Police Department, and this morning, Barnstable This Morning host Sarah Colvin caught up with Police Chief Paul McDonald. The two talked about everything from undercover stings to root out underage alcohol sales to changes for a local homeless shelter. We share that interview with you now. A number of things to talk about this morning, Chief. I want to start out with the underage drinking sting. This is something that the BPD does with some regularity. Tell me a little bit about, first of all, the reasonings behind the sting, and then second, how the most recent one went.
Well, first of all, we do this almost every year. Every year at the beginning of the season, sometime in April, early May, we meet with all the license holders in the town and just go over the rules and regulations and what they can expect from us and what we expect from them. We also tell them that sometime during the season we are going to have a reverse sting, send something in there to make sure that everybody is complying with all the rules. An underage person will go in there, try to purchase alcohol, and all we're hoping for is that package stores just check the person's ID, see if they're under 21, then refuse to serve them. We did that this past Friday night. There are 24 package stores in the town of Barnstable. We didn't do the bars, we just did the package stores. Out of the 24, we were able to go into 17 different venues. All the 17, two of them did sell to the girl. It was a young female. She was 20 years of age. The two establishments is the Hess Station at the corner of Ocean and South Street, and the other one is the GOL Supermarket at 55 Ida Road. It's a Brazilian market. Both of them did sell a six-pack of beer to the underage person. Our only concern at Speedway, we were there, we talked to management afterwards, the young girl that was there. She said, well, geez, she looked 18. And we did advise her, well, the drinking age is 21. And she says, oh, I thought you only had to be 18 to buy cigarettes and alcohol. So obviously there's an education piece that has to be out there for the managers to make sure their employees know what the legal drinking age is in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So overall, it was pretty successful. We will continue to do this next weekend, the week afterwards, till we do all of the package stores and all of the bar rooms.
Absolutely. And are there any repercussions for the stores that did sell to the underage girl?
Well, we haven't decided yet. We haven't finished them all yet. Once they're all done, the reports have been completed. Once that's done, our liaison to the licensing board, Officer Esty and Lieutenant Murphy, will sit down with the licensing board and decide what they want to do. If this should be discipline involved in this, or is this just going to be an educational process? But we were happy to see the vast majority of them were in compliance.
Indeed, and important to remember that the legal drinking age here in Massachusetts is 21.
That's key.
Very important. I want to talk, Chief, about an unfortunate incident, a fatal motorcycle crash that happened over the weekend. What can you tell me about this incident?
The accident happened at 7:30 Saturday morning. A motorcycle was traveling in a westerly direction on Route 28. In this accident, the traffic was relatively light. The Saturday morning, he was in Centerville traveling towards Falmouth. The Potter roadway is a pretty clear roadway. It's well marked, and this is one of the things. Was just the only thing that caused this accident was speed. It was a motorcycle traveling at a very high rate of speed. The operator lost control of the vehicle, veered off the road, and once the motorcycle veers off the road, hits a little bit of sand, it hits a soft patch. The motorcycle is going to go down, and that's exactly what happened. The operator had some substantial injuries at the scene. Was transported to Cape Cod Hospital, and he passed away at the hospital. It's a very, very unfortunate incident. The individual was identified at Rodane Powell of 21 GP Drive, and it's just a very, very unfortunate incident. It's an incident that did not have to happen. If it was just traveling with the proper speed limit, this would never have occurred.
Indeed, and unfortunately, motorcycles can be a lot of fun, but they can also be extremely dangerous, and so very important to follow those speed limit rules. And
motorcycles can be extremely dangerous, but you get an accident, anything over 35, 40 miles an hour, and it's not going to work out well for the operator.
Indeed. Chief, I want to move on to talk about the NOAA shelter. Of course, been a lot in the news, a lot in the discussion, especially here in downtown Hyannis, and big changes for the NOAA shelter effective today.
This is a huge step in the right direction. For the first time in 30 years, NOAA shelter is going to be a dry shelter. And what that means, if you're under the influence of alcohol or narcotics, you are not going to be allowed admittance at the NOAA shelter. This is a huge step in the right direction. This is something that we've been fighting for a long, long time, and NOAA realized it and working with their staff. They have a good policy in place. They will have breathalyzers, PBTs on site. They do have individuals who are trained and qualified for urine tests. So we're kind of excited about this, and I know they've been having conversations with their clientele for the past couple of months, telling them that this is what's going to happen September 1st. So if you are under the influence of anything, they gave a list of different other shelters where they may go to. Social services, I know, are gearing up for this too, if they can be there for assistance. And we will have additional cruises in the area in case there's any type of problems that might occur out there. But one thing we are not going to tolerate if people are under the influence, not going to go down the main street and cause disturbance down there. If they are, they will be placed in protective custody. At least those under the influence of alcohol will be placed in protective custody. So this is a huge step in the right direction. This is one of many, many battles that we're having with dealing with the homeless, and this is a step in the right direction.
Is there a concern, Chief, though, that those who are, as you mentioned, you will be placing people in protective custody if they do cause a disturbance, but is there a concern that we could see an uptick in that because people aren't going to be allowed admittance to the shelter if they are?
I don't think so. I think if you do see an uptick, it won't be anything that's going to be off the charts. We're going to have 3 or 4 additional cruises just on Main Street and into the area of the shelter. They brought in additional staff. They brought in some specially trained staff because they've never done this before. This is a change. It could cause a problem. Maybe for the first couple of weeks we could see some increased activity, but eventually we do think that it'll dissipate. This is a step in the right direction. We desperately have to dissuade some of these individuals from coming down to Hyannis. And so I think this is I applaud NOAA. I applaud HAC for doing this. This is something that I think should have been done a long time ago, but it's great. The policy and procedures are in place. They have all their equipment. They've trained their staff, so we have to see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, we certainly will keep an eye on that, Chief, and certainly, as you say, a step in the right direction, and we will definitely keep an eye and keep up to date with what's going on in and around that and the continued issues with the homeless.
Well, it's encouraging because NOAA and HAC now the level of cooperation there is certainly increasing between the police, the town, all the social service agencies. It looks like we're all getting on the same page. We're all moving in the right direction. So this is gigantic. I have a meeting with the HAC board tomorrow night, and hopefully we're all in agreement that NOAA should be moved. The shelter should be moved for all of the right reasons. Not that nobody's not caring, compassionate, but it's going to be best for the clientele and for downtown Hyannis to move it. So this is very positive.
A measure that would ban single-use plastic bags in Barnstable will be before Town Council this week. The effort is designed to reduce waste and protect the environment. Under the regulations, certain bags like those used to wrap meat or fish or flowers would be exempt from the ban. Council will hold a public hearing on the matter during its meeting Thursday night. The town of Barnstable hopes a new culvert system in Snows Creek in Hyannis will improve tidal flow in the area. Town officials will present the plan to the Conservation Commission tonight. They say the project will repair a very damaged system and increase safety. The Conservation Commission meets tonight in the Town Hall hearing room at 6:30. That meeting will air live right here on Channel 18. Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will chat with Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce CEO Wendy Northcross. We'll talk with Director of Regulatory Services Ed Merrigan. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.